All right. This is an incredible line. Every single note choice is just perfect, and it has a really cool modern sound to it. Lage Lund is just such a monster of a player. I can't say enough good things about him. And what is happening is we're doing a minor 2-5-1 to A minor, and we start on our B minor 7 flat 5 chord. And for the first three notes, we're actually taking the upper three notes of like the stock B minor 7 flat 5 voicing, but he's alternating them. He's jumping strings, which is cool. So you start with your pointer finger on the F note on the second string, and then you jump to the fourth string and play the A note with your middle finger, and then your ring finger plays D on the third string. Okay, really cool sound. And then right here is where it really gets interesting. So to me, like that ending, that half step at the end is really what gives it that modern sort of outside kind of sound. So after we play those first three notes, we put our pointer finger on E on the second string and hammer on to G with your pinky. Then pick A on the first string with your pointer finger, and then pick C with your pinky on the first string, and then slide up a half step to C sharp. So intervallically, what's going on so far, this is all over the B half diminished chord. We have the flatted fifth, flatted seventh, flat third. Now right here, if you look at it just intervallically, it's 4, flat 6, flat 7, and then flat 9, slide up to the natural 9. So I'm not exactly sure if he is thinking of this as a natural 9 or if he's anticipating the E7 chord. Once we get to that, I'll explain what's going on there. But one of the things that's cool about this, if you look at these four notes right here, it looks like an A minor pentatonic scale. So it could just be coincidence. I'm not sure if that's what he was thinking over that, but it lines right up as an A minor pentatonic scale. So you could technically, if you're playing over a half diminished chord, go down a whole step and play minor pentatonic, and you get an assortment of notes that would line up in the Locrian scale. Not every single note from Locrian, but you get 5 notes that are part of that scale. So that was like a little interesting thing that I noticed about that. So we have... Now right here is my favorite part. So just such an amazing sound. So what we have is pointer finger on B flat, and this is all over the E7 chord now, by the way. Pointer finger on B flat, pointer finger on F, and then your middle finger hits D on the third string, and then you go down a half step to C sharp. And actually, you know what? When you're coming from that C sharp on the first string, you pull off to the B flat. So pull off right there, and then you pick the remainder of the notes. So what is going on right here? If you look at those four notes, the C sharp, B flat, F, D, or is that the 5 notes? I'm sorry. It's an E half whole diminished, right? So if we look at this in relation to E, we have the 13, the flat 5, the flat 9, the flat 7, and the 13 again. Right, so that's like a cool little arpeggio out of the half whole diminished. So you could think of it as E half whole diminished, or alternatively, you can think of it as the tritone sub arpeggio, right? Because if you look at these three notes, it's B flat major, right? So B flat major is the tritone sub of E7. So, they're the same thing, but there's different ways of analyzing it, whatever you prefer to think of it as. I guess I would probably tend to think of it more as just half whole diminished, particularly because of that first note, because of that C sharp. So what I was saying before about I'm not sure if he's thinking of this as the natural 9 of the half diminished chord or if he's anticipating the next chord. The reason why I said that is because you could technically just think of like this when he goes from C to C sharp as he's just approaching the 13 of the E7 chord from a half step. So either one, obviously I don't know what he was thinking over it, but those are a couple of different ways of approaching it. So now we have... Okay, just so incredible. It's such a fluid, modern sounding line. And then we wrap it up with a cool little approach pattern. So what is going on here is he's approaching the root note of the 1 chord. So the next chord that we're coming up to is A minor. So he does this. You put your pinky on B on the 4th string, and then your ring finger goes down a half step to B flat, and then your pointer finger does G sharp, and then you slide up a fret to A. And then you hit E on the 2nd string with your pointer finger. So that's a chromatic approach tone because, like I said, if we're approaching the A note, you think of it, it's two chromatics above, 1 below, right? Because this is the A. So we're starting a whole step higher. We go down one, so those are 2 chromatics above, and then a half step below, which makes it 1 chromatic below, and then you resolve it to the A. Okay, just an incredible line. Every single note in this is just insane. So I'll do it slow a couple times, and then I'll speed it up. Okay, so a lot of good things to take away from this line. So we have that little arpeggiated part of the B minor 7 flat 5 chord where he's taking the notes and playing them one at a time and doing some string jumps, so we're not just playing them in succession. So you can apply that to any chord voicing that you use. You know, just play some of the notes, experiment with jumping around to some different intervals within the voicing. And then that little minor pentatonic thing I was talking about, if that's even what he was thinking, over the half diminished, going down a whole step and playing minor pentatonic. And then this arpeggio, right? Really great arpeggio to get that half whole diminished sound. So just quickly to review, like I was saying, if we're thinking of that against E, it's the 13, flat 5, flat 9, flat 7, and 13 again. And because that's half whole diminished, you can move that up in minor thirds. Right? And then that little chromatic approach to the A minor at the very end. So just tons of good stuff going on in this line. And that is our episode for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. And if you would like to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/MikeGaudetteMusic. You can be a general supporter, or you can join a different tier with some additional perks and some additional content that's not included in these lesson videos. But thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys at the next video. Take care.